Welcome to the Holistic Growth Podcast, navigating business and natural health and functional medicine, where we bring you insights and strategies to help grow your practice and amplify your impact. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Holistic Growth Podcast. I'm Dr. Tracy. I'm the Chief Health and Growth Officer right here at Get Healthy Stores, who hosts and sponsors this podcast. With me today is Dan Levens, and he is changing the game when it comes to helping practitioners get noticed. He's founder of 11 businesses in a variety of industries, ranging from information technology, finance, health, wellness companies. He's played an integral part throughout his career, driving business realignment with domestic and international growth. I have to say, I'm super excited. He's here today representing ShareOne, which is a company that here at Get Healthy that we partner with. And I want to kind of position this podcast because it's really important. You know, in the healthcare spectrum of things, practitioners have to learn to become AI proof. And what do I mean by that? Well, today we're going to talk about something every healthcare practitioner is thinking about. AI can write the blogs, create treatment plans, interpret lab work, write social media posts, answer patient questions, and just about with any laptop, a teenager, Dan, can come into their parents' basement and can create enough AI-generated content to compete and establish with practices like mine online. So how do we as healthcare practitioners compete? So today, Dan is going to help us understand through his company, ShareOne, how he's helping businesses harness one thing that AI can't create, and that's real human stories. So Dan, welcome to the show. I'm super glad you're here.
Dr. Tracy, thank you so much. Looking forward to our conversation, and how timely with AI and everything that's happening. And I feel like a lot of people may feel like they may be behind the eight ball. There's this constant fear, even for me, being in technology and AI, feeling the constant, like, am I not doing something? The fear of missing out. Are other people using a tool that I'm not doing? Like, what's going on? So I'm thrilled to be here on this interview, and maybe we can ease some stress and some anxiety in people. So I'm looking forward to our conversation.
Me too, because I'm ready to have it. I have to tell you, I tried the AI-driven content. It doesn't work. And it's not, I think people feel that it's not authentically me. So I'm super excited to talk to you today. But before we get into the topic at hand, can you share us a little bit about yourself? Like, tell us your story. How did ShareOne come to life? I mean, you have all these other businesses. Give us a background here.
Sure. I started as a database engineer, software architect back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and wrote a bunch of different softwares, and some of them very successful, sold to Bank of New York Mellon. And then I decided that I didn't want to be behind a computer screen anymore. So much for that. And went back to school, got my master's in business, and started about a dozen different companies, primarily in the entrepreneurial space. So I started one of the first co-working facilities outside of Philadelphia many years ago, before WeWork was there, and supporting early stage founders with incubators and business accelerators, even with a local county. And what I realized very quickly was it's not necessarily the idea or what they're doing that's wrong or causing failure. It's more about marketing. It's more about their ability or their inability to communicate their value proposition to the world. And that's what really kind of opened my eyes up to the world of marketing. And very soon I discovered the power of video. This is years and years ago. And before COVID, we had a full film studio, live audiences, shooting all sorts of content, online courses and all that. And during COVID, luckily we sold our studio before the pandemic. What we all noticed was people were turning on their cameras like we are now, and they're at the comfort of their home. So then I started thinking, well, what's the number one thing that can really help businesses move the needle in terms of bottom line sales and new leads? And that's a true human story, or a human being sharing their story of transformation. And that's how ShareOne was built. And luckily for us being stuck at home, this became a virtual company, which drove the cost of production way down. It used to be thousands of dollars to produce a piece of content, sending a film crew to, your clients' houses or whatever. So ShareOne is completely virtual, and we have a team of reporters nationwide that are trained in being able to extract beautiful stories out of our clients, our businesses, patients, and clients. So that's the foundation of ShareOne. And of course, that all started before the age of AI. And I have to say that, especially in the last few months, I'm so like, I wake up excited that I have a company that is focusing on humans and human stories. And I believe that I think recently at a mastermind, somebody was at a big event with Verizon and Cisco. And I think Verizon, they in the last month have decided to cut all of their AI efforts down. Cisco came out and said, we're spending, I don't know what it was, $2 million a month on AI tokens. And they said, hey, had we not laid off everybody and spent that money on human resources, we would have been a lot more productive. So I feel like we were in this like revolution of AI where everybody was like, oh my God, AI can do everything. But there's a little bit of a boomerang effect, a little bit of a backlash. So at the end of the day, we're all humans, right?
That's right. You got to have the human connection. And especially in healthcare, I really believe that it's a relationship business. You know, people are entrusting you with such a big part of their life and basically trying to save their own life. And they're handing it over to you. They don't want AI tools. And I've watched companies jump up, a lot of like testing companies using AI front ends to interpret labs, but there's no one to talk to. And so they can only go so far. So I think this is a great time to have this discussion. So why did you choose, even before AI, why did you choose video testimonials over like traditional marketing? What drew you to that type of video?
I had a company that focused on founders, founder story, origin stories, digging into their purpose, really kind of highlighting why practitioners became practitioners. And although that created really good content, it didn't move the needle in business's bottom line. And that's when I realized, and even ourselves, what's the first thing that you do when you go on Amazon? You look at how many stars, right? Is it 4.8, 4.9? How many reviews? And you look at them, you know, are they legit, right? Are they verified? Everybody is looking for the likability of what other people are doing, right? That's just the human nature. So, so much research has been put out there that a good video testimonial is far superior than any other piece of marketing out there. And then all we have to do is put ourselves in the shoes of a consumer, and you know, who do we trust and how do we make decisions?
Yeah, that's amazing. And can AI create trust? Probably not, right? So I just think that's super interesting about client testimonials because it's probably one of the last things that most practitioners think about collecting, you know, and I get emails all the time, like from my clients saying, you know, what a great experience. Thank you so much. You changed my life. I just got a huge paragraph today on text and I read them and I respond to them. And I'm like, that's so beautiful. Thank you so much. And then I just move on. And what I'm hearing is that I need you to come in and capture these. This is what I'm hearing. So, you know, the AI problem, practitioners are nervous. You know, they're watching AI create this content faster than they can. You know, do you think they're worried about this, about the wrong thing? I mean, what is it really that AI can do that we can't do? And why did AI jump in front of us with marketing efforts and take over the industry? Like, what was the trend? What did you see?
So for years, we were all so focused about generating content, right? From day one, when the internet came out, it was all about SEO. How much content, how many blogs can you write out there? How can we be searched on Google, right? And then AI came in and was able to do everything. As we were just mentioning earlier, a 17-year-old that's sitting in a basement can crank out 10,000 blogs overnight and put it on a website. And those days are over. And I usually challenge and encourage our clients to think about marketing in a different way today because of the ease of producing the content that we valued so much in the past. We have to think about what is it that we as a business owner can do that AI can't do. Because whatever AI can do, your competitors can do, anybody else can do. So you have to put on your thinking caps and say, what is it about me? What's my intellectual property? What's my value proposition? What are my stories? What's my differentiator that nobody else can replicate, especially AI? And when you start thinking that way, and you think about, AI isn't, the LLMs aren't dumb, right? What's happening with all the content that's being created is you have this ocean of information that eventually nobody's going to look at. Even consumers today are getting bored, and they can sniff that out immediately. Oh, this is AI content. And AI content is typically pretty sloppy, or it can be pretty sloppy, and humans are beginning to be able to detect that. So what are the things that you can do as a marketer that other people in AI can't do? And that's verified human stories. And at the end of the day, when it comes to marketing, it's all word of mouth, right? Word of mouth, referrals, those are the biggest the needle movers. And when a real human being sees another real human being sharing their story, hey, I was in pain, this is what I was going through, I met Dr. Tracy, and then 3 months later, I can play baseball with my kids again. Like that, those types of stories are things that your competitors in AI cannot generate. And let me put a little asterisks next to that. AI can generate that. AI can generate fake reviews. AI can generate fake videos. But Google, Amazon, the FTC, they're all cracking down on consumer protection and what is believed to be true. So I don't know if you guys have noticed, but even Google today are cracking down on how and when you collect reviews. And if they even sense that you're encouraging somebody, or you're having your staff members or your family members leave reviews, they shut down your Google business profile immediately. That's been in the forefront of marketing, and they're coming down really, really hard. So anybody that's been using AI to unethically create fake content are going to be in trouble if they're not already.
It's going to be a game changer, I feel, because there's so much fake content out there. And even if people can identify it, there are people that can't, and they get taken by it all the time. So talk to me specifically about video. Why video? Why is that becoming more valuable than written testimonials? Why does someone's face matter? What if you're not good on video? What if you have a face for radio?
So written content and written reviews, especially now, people question the authenticity of it, because anybody with a keyboard can type it, AI can type it, right? And video content is there's so much research out there around video content. And for us, when we're interviewing other practices, patients, we're looking for authenticity. And we actually, we don't send out cameras, we don't send out lighting, we don't send out crews, we don't do anything like that. The more authentic, the older their camera, the more cluttered their kitchen counter is when they're telling the story, the more believable it is. At the end of the day, we're not looking for video production. We're looking at a way for us to be able to use our clients to connect to that prospect's heart, right? For them to say, oh my God, if this person can go through a transformation, then so can I. And if you are amazing on video and you're trained and you have beautiful lighting, then that person that's watching it on the other side can't relate. They're like, well, that's not me. I'll never be on video. My house doesn't look like that, right? So it's quite the opposite. We go for authenticity. We go for that real, like, home feel. And those are the videos that really, really move the needle. And on the topic of AI and these videos, when I mentioned what is it you can do that AI can't do, right? So what we encourage there's some technology here on the backside too. What we encourage our clients doing is not just collecting those videos and letting them sit on a drive or just posting them on YouTube, although that helps. When our clients collect a video, we say, hey, create a page on your website that's a case study that features this person. Put the video up there and have a little description in the bottom. In this video, we're interviewing Dr. Tracy about XYZ. And then there are all sorts of really interesting, fascinating ways of presenting that data so that you can potentially be picked up by a LLM, right? I think all of our dreams, any business owner's dream, is that one day somebody goes on their phone and goes to their GPT or Claude and says, hey, I'm looking for a practitioner to help me with XYZ, and your name pops up. Wouldn't that be great? right?
That was
That's
cool.
that's what everybody wants, and that's essentially the future. And so by having these case study pages created in a way where they are appeasing the LLM. So when you think about an LLM, is they're trying to find the best answer in the cheapest way possible. So the less processing that they have to do, the less tokens they have to use up to be able to get a great answer, the more profitable the company becomes. And that's how they're designed. So when you're putting a piece of content out there, don't just put the piece of content out there. Think about it in a way of where if an LLM came in, how can we give them the information the fastest? So what we encourage people doing is figure out what are the questions that people are going to ask in a LLM, right? So the closer you are to that question, the quicker the LLM will pick that up and use that as a resource to answer somebody, because they don't have to dig, they don't have to summarize, they don't have to think. So if you look at our case study page at the bottom, every single page is all these questions and answers. We're anticipating what a user in an LLM will ask, and we give them the answer on that page. So now we're being indexed by LLMs to know, hey, if we have a question, instead of trying to figure it out and summarize and do and churn through all this content, the answer is right there. And it's a verified human story, right? So I think that's a really, really powerful thing that everybody should really start focusing on. It takes time for something like that to work. But that's the one leverage point that AI doesn't have: real human stories, real emotions, real transformations.
Yeah. So we did a webinar with Big Boost Marketing, which does more lead acquisition, right? And does traditional marketing for practitioners. Uli was talking about the fact that your website should have an FAQ section. You're saying take it a step further and have an entire testimonial section with case studies where people can come and hear real people come all the way through. So I want to get more granular into your services as to what you offer, because I know there's practitioners who are going to be interested. And one of the biggest things for me, Dan, is time. Like, as I said, I'll look at that testimony. I thank you. That's such a great thing. I so appreciate it. But I'm not going to be like, hey, will you send me a video? Like, it's just not going to happen. I'm moving on to the next thing, probably see her in a consult in a couple of weeks. But what do you provide? So when you say put a page on your website with case studies, that sounds like a great idea. That also sounds like that's going to take me time and probably a skill set that I don't have. So can you go through what all you could provide a practitioner who's busy, who wants to invest in your services? What all would you do for them?
Sure. Let me back up real quick. When I said create a page with case studies, I want you to go one step further. I want you to create a dedicated page for each video testimonial and have each video focused on a specific pain point, and leverage that video, leverage that content, and create the FAQ towards that pain point, towards that avatar, towards that geographical region, like whatever information you have about who you're trying to attract. Design those pages, one story per page, and have as many of those as you can. All right. And of course, tie it back to your services, tie it back to, why you.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to put a cap on that. In terms of what we do, we see business owners as being extremely busy. We know, especially practitioners who are very humble and good at what they do, the last thing they want to do is chase somebody down, especially for a video testimonial. So the way that we work, when somebody signs up with us, we do an onboarding call first to really understand who are you attracting, what are your pain points, what are the typical objections, where are people falling through the cracks, at what part of the funnel are people not doing the next steps. So when we know what those pain points are, then we can create what we call our story formula. Those are the questions that we're going to use in an interview to solicit the answers that basically address those objections, right? That's the goal. And because we use real human beings in all of our interviews, we're basically editing in our heads when we're conducting interviews. We know what the practitioner needs at the end of the day. What are the sound bites that we need? And we continue asking and have them summarize it. They're rambling on for 7 minutes. We have them, hey, repeat after me and just say this, right? A beautiful 20-minute conversation that gets edited down to 2 or 3 minutes. So in terms of time, yes. So we ask our clients to initiate the first invitation because they know who you are. They don't necessarily know who Share One is. And you CC us and you CC our team, and that's where we take over. So just send out the first email. You can do a text message as well. And then we basically follow up with that patient, ask them when a good time would be. We have a 47% success rate in getting your patients to say yes, because first of all, we honor them, right? And we're not asking them, hey, please leave us a review. It's not a one-sided thing. And that's our secret sauce of how do we inspire your patients to say yes to do one of these interviews. And we typically do something like, Dear Mary, we see that you've gone through a tremendous health journey in the last 6 months. There are a few people in our community that are suffering with XYZ. And if they could hear your story firsthand, their lives would change too. We're creating a mini docuseries and capturing stories of human beings, and we feel like your story can inspire so many others. Would you be open to meeting one of our producers for a quick 20-minute virtual chat? Right? That's a very different conversation than please leave us a Google review, right?
Right.
And so we honor the patient with their time and their experiences, make them feel like, as if I always say, make them feel like we're sending a news crew to their living room to capture their story. Of course, they're going to say yes, right? And that's the mentality that we want to hold. So the scheduling, the interview itself, it's super, super easy, 20 minutes. And then once we're done editing, we format everything into 1x1s, 9x16, like Instagram, LinkedIn posts, everything that you could possibly need, including transcripts and long posts and short posts for LinkedIn, social medias, and all the things, TikTok. All those assets are available to you for you to use. In terms of going as far as building out pages for people, that's not within our standard service because everybody has different platforms. Some people may be on WordPress or whatever technology, but we do empower them and educate them and give them all the assets that they need, which Dr. Tracy, thank you. I think this might be something we need to look into a little bit more, is how do we help them create these landing pages that are LLM friendly, right?
Just giving you all the friction points to my success, Dan. I really am. I'm just limited on time. And then I think, the ideas come in, and I'm just being honest and transparent. A lot of marketing companies, they're great strategists. They come in, they're like, here's your content or here's your ideas. And we do it at Get Healthy. We create media kits every single month for our doctors. You know how many people download and use those? Not a lot. And it's not because it's not available. It's because there's an implementation process behind the asset. And it's really like if I go on Instagram, right, and I create a reel, and I did one today, right? I'll use AI to formulate my thoughts. Like I know what I want to say, but because I'm 52, I can't see. I don't know where my glasses are. I'm trying to type something. I'll just get a chat and I'll be like, here's what I want to say. Give me an Instagram caption. And it'll type it out for me, copy, paste, boom. That's about as fast as I need to go. Now, if there's a CTA I have to do and then I have to build something behind it, like there's just these levels of things. And I think as a practitioner, I know everyone's probably feeling my pain. I have literally about 10 to 15 minutes in my day to figure out what do I want to put out? What do I need to say? What am I trying to market? And that's probably the majority of your practitioners. I have a marketing person now who's coming in, getting me organized, doing posts. But to be perfectly honest, until she finds my voice, right? Because all of my posts are me. Like I am authentic. I get on, I say what I want to say. That's hard to recapture in a post. That's not me, and I think my people who follow me know that. And I think that's where the industry went. You see more practitioners out there making content, but a lot of them aren't in clinical practice. So when you mix that with clinical practice and protocol writing and all the things that I have to do in my day, the time factor is huge. So I love your concept of like taking me out of it, but still getting the authentic care that I provide with the people that I have helped. And so you still get a level of knowing me, liking me, and trusting me without it having to take up my time. So that's what I wanted to say. I think you solved one of the issues of content creating. Now the implementation is the second thing. Like, will you go post that to my channel? That'd be great. If I give you my access, could you just take that part? That'd be wonderful.
We encourage people to throw video testimonials as part of their content calendar. It's not 100%. So maybe 1 in 5 posts can be as straightforward. Get the video from your portal with ShareOne, and copy and paste the blurb, the description that we get from the transcript, and boom, there you go. That's at least 1 out of 5 pieces of content. Some people do more, some people do less. It depends, but definitely, scatter those in your content calendar. Yeah, it's crazy to think that the better the practitioner, the busier you are, the less time you have to market, and it should be the other way around.
Should be.
So hopefully using a service like ShareOne and being able to capture these human stories is a way to really put a light and shine a light on people that are doing amazing work.
Yeah.
Through our portal, we have the full transcripts from the interview, and our clients have the ability to let us know, hey, when you interview this person, make sure you ask them about their blood pressure decrease or whatever it is that's special to them, so that our reporters are educated and can personalize some of these interviews. But aside from that, they're hands off until the video's done. And once they go to our portal to download the video, all the social media, little blurbs, hashtags, YouTube, we automatically post it onto YouTube. So you can just link the YouTube video with the descriptions of your practice and everything. All that's, we do as much as possible. And, after this conversation today, I think you've inspired us to maybe do a little bit more in terms of being able to tie it in, or at least create those pages for them for the LLM FAQs.
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, I would pay for the upgraded service for sure. People will, I always tell practitioners, hire your weakness or buy your weakness, invest in your weakness, because it always breaks at the weakest link. I can get on and do a reel, but if I don't have time to post it, I can't build a page. I can't take it over to my Linktree. I can't hook it to my website. Like, it's all for naught. It's just noise. Engagement is fine. And I love engagers on my timeline, but I like participators. I like people that want to click through and take action on their health. That's really what we're trying to get, is a response. So I do love what you guys are doing, though. And I love that you create the content. So about how many videos do you produce per package? Like I said, 5 videos, 10 videos. What does that look like?
We have different packages, from the most basic, which is just pay as you go, to our growth plan, which includes 2 videos per month, all the way to a enterprise scale, which is 10 videos plus per month. It just basically gets cheaper and cheaper the more that you do.
Right.
I encourage people to at least have the ability, have this little thing in your back pocket. It's $24.95 to sign up for our services. We'll give you all the technology back support and everything, your own invitation links to whenever you get that text message, Dr. Tracy, or somebody saying, oh my God, you're amazing. Send them that link. Send them that link and say, hey, do you mind, meeting with one of our producers? I think your story can inspire so many people, right? We even give you a copy paste text message that you can use. But have that available to be able to start capturing the videos. And I think one more thing about how many videos, not necessarily about our packages, but more about for you to be searched. It's not about how many videos you have on your website. It's about the frequency in which you update them. So if once a month or, once every 2 weeks you post something new, then there's this fresh flow of content and energy that LLMs and everybody else will pick up on. That's more important than having a huge page with 100 videos.
Yeah. And Google search versus these LLMs, it's everything. If you can get brought up on ChatGPT, you've made it. So that's what I'm hearing. I'm not there yet, but we're working on it. So this has been very educational, super informative. I really appreciate your time today. I'm going to throw some rapid fire questions at you. Are you ready for these?
Sure.
Okay. Finish these sentences for me. The future of healthcare marketing is?
The future of healthcare marketing is all about results. It's about other human beings making the noise of what matters.
AI can replace
crunching information, can summarize and read information, but the origin of the content comes from you, your patience, and your ability to transform other people's lives.
So AI can never replace
you.
That's right. So the practices that will thrive over the next decade are the ones that
leverage technology to their benefit. Do you mind if I expand on this a little bit more? Because I really feel like when we're dealing with, when we're talking to our clients, there's a sense of fear. There's a sense of like, oh my God, I'm going to be replaced. So what's going to happen? And you feel like crawling under a rock anytime somebody mentions the word AI. Oh, have you tried this tool or that tool? AI is a tool. I equate it to electricity, right? People had to evolve when electricity came around. A lot of people went out of business because they're using the manual tools, whatever, and that's fine because we're progressing as a human race. AI is no different than electricity. Electricity, yes, it replaced a lot of jobs, but it made everybody's ability to fulfill their purposes and fulfill their gifts even more. And that's how I want everybody to look at AI. It's a tool to allow you to do better and to realize your dreams and your gifts at a whole nother level. All the little things that used to take time, I mean, AI will be able to help you with that. And I think that's how everybody should look at it. It's a tool. That's all it is.
Yeah, I agree. And it can be a super efficient tool as well. So, well, this has been great. I hope you guys know that you can reach out to ShareOne. Do you guys offer a consultation, or how does that work when somebody reaches out? And we'll put the link in the show notes so everybody can reach out to Dan's team. Do they schedule a consult?
Yep. The first step of becoming a client is we do an onboarding call, and we really kind of dive into your business, and we figure out, hey, who are your ideal clients you want to attract? Who are the people we can interview? What are the questions that we can ask? Come up with a whole strategy to basically take that as much off your hands as possible. And then we're off to the races.
Awesome. Well, guys, the link is going to be in the show notes. Make sure you hit it. I would highly suggest you do an onboarding call. Let Dan and team at ShareOne help you generate and, put the content out to the world. Let people speak on your behalf of what you're doing to help everybody attain their health goals. I feel this is exactly what companies like mine need, like everyone's need in the healthcare business. So this week, don't create another AI-generated post. Instead, go to ShareOne, do the onboarding call, start building a library of authentic testimonials that reflect the lives that you've impacted as a practitioner. So Dan, thank you for joining us and reminding us that while technology continues to evolve and grow, the human connection never goes out of style. So we'll bring it back.
Absolutely. Dr. Tracy, thank you so much for having me. This is so much fun. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, thanks, guys, for tuning into the Holistic Growth Podcast. If this helped you or helped anyone else, please share this. Make sure you give us a like and a follow, and we'll see you next time.